Colonel Jack Spencer stood motionless by the large window of the USS Defiance bridge. His eyes never left the strange object that had appeared in space 30 minutes ago. After 20 years in the Space Force, he thought he had seen everything. He was wrong. "Any response to our signals?" Jack asked, his voice steady despite the tension in the room. Lieutenant Diane Powell shook her head. "Nothing, sir. We've tried all frequencies and protocols. The object had simply appeared. There, one moment, gone the next. It resembled a massive teardrop made of some dark metal that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. No engines were visible, no radiation detected. It just existed where moments before there had been only empty space. Maintain distance, but keep us positioned between that thing and Earth," Jack ordered. Admiral Susan Bennett entered the bridge, her uniform crisp despite being called from sleep. Susan had commanded Earth's defense fleet for 5 years, but Jack had never seen her look so concerned. "What do we know?" she asked. "Not much, Admiral. It appeared approximately 90,000 miles from our position. No warning, no warp signature, no conventional propulsion detected. It's about 2 miles long and hasn't moved since arrival." As if responding to their conversation, the alien vessel suddenly emitted a pulse of blue light. A moment later, the communication system came alive. "Incoming. Transmission," Diane announced, her fingers flying over her console. I think it's trying to match our language patterns." The main screen flickered and revealed a being unlike anything humans had encountered before. It appeared crystalline, with a body that seemed to shift and flow like liquid glass. When it spoke, its voice was surprisingly melodic. "I am Ambassador Zelthora of the Galactic Council. I bring greetings to Earth." Jack and Susan exchanged glances. Humanity had encountered several alien species in their exploration of nearby star systems, but none had mentioned any Galactic Council. Susan stepped forward. "This is Admiral Susan Bennett of Earth. We welcome peaceful contact." The crystalline being made a movement that might have been a nod. "The Council has observed your world for some time. Your species has shown potential. The Council has decided Earth is ready for integration." Something in the ambassador's tone made Jack uneasy. He signaled silently to Intelligence Officer Ethan Miller, who began typing commands into his console, activating the ship's advanced analysis systems. "Integration sounds promising," Susan replied carefully. "We would be interested in learning more about the Council and what integration entails. The Council consists of 17 advanced species who maintain order across this sector of the galaxy. Integration is a privilege. Earth will become a protectorate world, enjoying the benefits of Council technology and protection." "And what would Earth provide in return?" Susan asked. "A modest contribution. Quarterly tributes of certain resources your planet possesses in abundance. Additionally, a small number of humans would be selected for cultural exchange programs. They would serve as representatives of Earth within Council space." Ethan caught Jack's attention and held up a tablet. On it was a decrypted transmission intercepted from the alien vessel. Jack read it and felt his blood turn cold. "Subject planet appears suitable. Biological specimens show promising adaptability to stress. Recommend standard harvesting protocol. Labor capacity estimated at 40% above average. Request permission for immediate acquisition rather than standard integration deception." Jack passed the tablet to Susan, who read it without changing her expression. "Ambassador," Susan said, her voice still friendly, "this is an important decision for our people. We would need time to prepare properly for such an honor." The crystalline being seemed to hesitate. "The Council expected immediate acceptance." "We accept in principle," Susan said smoothly, "but proper tribute requires proper preparation. We would not want to disappoint the Council with hasty, inferior offerings." After a moment, Zelthora nodded. "This is acceptable. You will have 1 Earth month to prepare your first tribute. The Council expects the following resources." A list appeared on a secondary screen, showing minerals and elements, many of them rare. "And how many humans would be requested for this cultural exchange?" Susan asked. "For the first tribute, 1,000. Primarily between the ages of 15 and 30 Earth years. They should be in good physical condition." Susan nodded as if this was a reasonable request. We will begin preparations immediately. When the transmission ended, Susan's diplomatic smile vanished. Secure channel to Earth Central Command, now. Within minutes, the bridge screen showed the grim face of General Harry Wilson, Earth's highest-ranking military officer. "You've seen our visitor?" Susan asked. "Every telescope on and off planet is pointed at it," Harry confirmed. "What have you learned?" "They're calling themselves the Galactic Council. They want tribute, resources and people, lots of both." Jack stepped forward. "Sir, we've intercepted communications. This isn't a cultural exchange. They're planning to use humans as test subjects and slave labor." Harry's expression darkened. "How long do we have?" "1 month before they expect the first payment," Susan replied, "and if we refuse, based on their hidden communications, I expect they'll take what they want by force," Jack said. Harry was silent for a moment. "Can we fight them?" "Their technology is beyond anything we've seen," Jack admitted. "But there's something odd. They're hiding their true intentions, which suggests they're concerned about our response. If they were completely confident in their superiority, why bother with deception?" Susan nodded. "They're either not as powerful as they want us to believe, or they're not united. Either way, it gives us something to work with." "What do you suggest?" Harry asked. "We play along," Susan replied. "We act like we're preparing tribute, while actually preparing for defense, and we look for weaknesses. We'll need everyone working together on this," Jack added. "Every nation, every scientist, every soldier." Harry nodded. "I'll call an emergency global council meeting. In the meantime, learn everything you can about them." After the transmission ended, Jack turned to Susan. "Do you think we have a chance?" Susan looked out at the alien vessel floating silently against the backdrop of stars. They came expecting to find sheep ready for shearing. Instead, they found wolves in sheep's clothing. "Yes, Jack. We have more than a chance." She turned to address the entire bridge crew. "They demanded tribute. We'll give them an answer instead, one that will echo across the stars." 1 week had passed since the alien ship arrived. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains in a facility unknown to most of humanity, Chief Engineer Lisa Parker hadn't slept in nearly 2 days. Her eyes burned as she studied the holographic display, showing the modifications to Earth's defense fleet. "The camouflage systems are holding up in simulations," she told the small group gathered around the table. "From the outside, these ships will look like they're running standard fusion drives. The Council won't detect our actual capabilities." General Frank Mitchell nodded, his weathered face revealing nothing. "And you're certain their sensors won't see through the deception?" "As certain as I can be without actually testing it against their technology," Lisa admitted. "But Dr. Rodriguez has some insights that might help." All eyes turned to Alan Rodriguez. Once mocked by the scientific community for his impossible theories on dimensional physics, Alan now stood at the center of humanity's greatest technological leap. "The Council ships use a form of dimensional folding for travel and sensing," Alan explained, pulling up his own diagrams. "It's why they seem to appear out of nowhere. They didn't travel here in normal space. They created a fold between their location and ours." "And you can replicate this?" General Mitchell asked. Alan smiled for the first time in days. "Not exactly replicate, but I understand enough to disrupt it." He gestured to a small device on the table. "This is what we're calling the Echo. When activated, it creates a counter-resonance to the dimensional frequencies their technology uses." Lisa picked up the explanation. "Think of it like opera singers shattering glass. The Echo produces precise vibrations that cause their dimensional tech to collapse in on itself." In another room, Olivia Wright reviewed her notes before her next communication with Ambassador Zell Thora. As Earth's diplomatic face, her job was critical. Keep the Council believing humanity was complying while buying time for the real preparations. "They're growing suspicious," she told Susan Bennett, who had just arrived from orbit. "Yesterday they asked to send observers to monitor our tribute preparations." Susan frowned. "What did you tell them?" "That we welcome their observers but require 48 hours to prepare suitable accommodations that meet their biological needs." "Smart. That buys us more time." Susan looked exhausted. The USS Defiant remained in position near the Council ship, maintaining the appearance of a ceremonial honor guard. How are people handling the news? World leaders had made a calculated decision to inform the public about the Council's arrival, but not their true intentions. Instead, the narrative presented was one of potential alliance with advanced beings. Better than expected, Olivia replied. The excitement of confirmed alien contact is overshadowing the oddness of the tribute request, though there are growing protests against sending humans off-world. Those protests help our cover, Susan noted. The Council will expect resistance to their demands. It would look suspicious if everyone simply agreed. In a private hangar at what was once a small regional airport, Captain Samantha Hayes supervised loading operations disguised as routine cargo flights. Her crew had been selected from the best pilots Earth had to offer, each chosen for both skill and psychological resilience. Each ship carries 2 echo devices, Lieutenant Kevin Barnes explained as they walked between the vessels. Primary and backup. Once activated, will have approximately 3 minutes to execute the strike before their systems adapt. Samantha nodded. And the crews? Kevin's expression tightened. All volunteers. They understand the mission parameters and the probability of return, which is, Dr. Rodriguez estimates 20%. Samantha stopped walking. That low? The plan is to appear to disintegrate along with their shields. In reality, our ships will be executing precision strikes from within their defensive perimeter. Getting out afterward is secondary to completing the mission, Samantha finished. She had volunteered knowing this might be a one-way trip. Make sure everyone gets 8 hours of sleep tonight. I want alert crews tomorrow. Around the world, similar preparations continued in secret facilities. Submarine bases converted to house advanced weapons manufacturing. Civilian satellites reprogrammed to provide military intelligence. Every nation contributing resources and personnel to a unified defense. At the Council ship, Ambassador Zelthora received new instructions from her superiors. The human acceptance had been suspiciously smooth. 2 observer ships would arrive within days to verify compliance. If resistance was detected, collection would begin immediately. Zelthora did not share these details in her next communication with Olivia. The Council is pleased with Earth's cooperation, she said, her crystalline form shimmering with colors that human eyes couldn't fully process. We look forward to receiving your tribute. We are honored to prepare worthy offerings, Olivia replied with a carefully practiced smile. The moment the transmission ended, she sent an urgent message to Susan. Observer ships incoming. Timeline accelerated. In the mountain facility, the news sparked frantic activity. We need at least 3 more days, Alan protested as the leadership council gathered for an emergency meeting. We don't have 3 days, General Mitchell replied grimly. If their observer ships arrive and see what we're really doing, they'll attack immediately. Susan considered the options. How many echo devices are ready? 14, Lisa answered. Enough for the first wave, but the rest of the fleet won't be equipped. Then we launch now, with what we have, Susan decided. Captain Hayes and her team will proceed as planned. If they succeed in disabling the main council ship, we'll have a window to deploy the rest of our forces before the observers arrive. General Mitchell nodded slowly. A preemptive strike rather than waiting for tribute. Risky. Everything about this is risky, Susan replied. But if the council realizes we're not preparing tribute, they'll attack anyway. At least this way, we choose when and how the fight begins. The orders went out immediately. Across the globe, the carefully hidden ships prepared for launch. Crews said quiet goodbyes to loved ones who didn't know the truth of their mission. On the bridge of her ship, Samantha Hayes reviewed the attack plan one final time with her crew. The council expects us to kneel, she told them. They think we'll hand over our resources, our people, our future, all because they demanded it. She looked at each face in turn. Today we show them humanity's answer. As night fell across North America, 14 ships rose silently into the sky, their true nature hidden beneath layers of technological deception. The council was about to learn that humanity would not be providing tribute. They would be delivering consequence. The 14 ships rose through Earth's atmosphere in perfect formation. From radar stations across the planet, they appeared as ordinary cargo vessels on routine flights. This deception was crucial to their mission. In the lead ship, Captain Samantha Hayes watched the blue sky darken to black as they entered space. The massive Council battlecruiser hung against the stars ahead, its surface gleaming like polished obsidian. All ships reporting normal operations, Lieutenant Kevin Barnes said from his station. Council vessel is not showing any signs of alarm. Samantha nodded. Open a channel to their ship. On the Council battlecruiser, Admiral Zev Kar received notice of the approaching human vessels. His 4 eyes narrowed as he studied the data. The ships were ahead of schedule, but their energy signatures matched what he expected from primitive human technology. They are eager to prove their worth, he remarked to his second-in-command. Open the loading bays. Let us see what tribute Earth has gathered. The communication channel activated, and Samantha's face appeared on the Council ship's bridge screen. Council, vessel, this is Captain Hayes of the Earth Transport Fleet. We bring the first installment of tribute as agreed, requesting permission to dock and deliver our cargo. Zevkar made a gesture that humans would interpret as a smile, though on his face it looked predatory. Permission granted, Earth Transport. You are cleared to approach Docking Bay 3. As the channel closed, Zevkar turned to his crew. Prepare the containment fields for the human specimens. After we process this group, we will accelerate the collection timeline. The observer ships have detected unusual activity in Earth's defense systems. Aboard Samantha's ship, the crew worked with focused intensity. Every person knew their role. Every person understood what was at stake. Tracking shows the observer ships will arrive in approximately 40 minutes, Kevin reported. We need to complete our mission before then. Samantha activated the secure channel to all ships in her fleet. Final check on Echo devices. Status report. One by one, the 13 other captains confirmed their devices were operational. Dr. Rodriguez had warned them they would have only one chance. The Echo's effect was not something the Council could shield against, not the first time, but they would adapt quickly. Council docking bay is opening, the navigation officer announced. We are cleared to approach. Samantha took a deep breath. Begin approach. Standard formation. Precisely as we practiced. The 14 ships moved toward the massive Council vessel in a pattern that appeared ceremonial to observers. In reality, each position had been carefully calculated to maximize the Echo's effect and position the ships for their strike. Inside the Council ship, hundreds of crew members prepared to receive what they believed would be their first harvest. From Earth, containment chambers stood ready for human specimens. Scanning equipment waited to catalog Earth resources. None suspected the true nature of the approaching vessels. Distance to docking bay, 1,000 meters, Kevin announced. Samantha opened the channel to her fleet one last time. On my mark, activate Echo devices and execute attack pattern Alpha. Remember your training. For Earth. The other captains responded in unison. For Earth. As they reached 500 meters from the docking bay, Samantha gave the command. Mark. In perfect synchronization, 14 Echo devices activated. The effect was immediate and catastrophic. For the Council ship. The dimensional technology that powered their shields and weapons suddenly folded in on itself, creating cascading failures throughout their systems. From the Council bridge, Zevkar watched in disbelief as alarms blared. What is happening? Report. Shields collapsing, his officer shouted. Unknown energy pattern disrupting dimensional stabilizers. Impossible, Zevkar hissed. Their technology is primitive. Outside, the 14 Earth ships appeared to disintegrate as they passed through the failing shields. This was part of the plan. As the Council's sensors struggled to function, the Earth vessels penetrated the now vulnerable ship at key points identified by intelligence analysis. Each human ship carried precision weapons designed for one purpose, to cripple but not destroy the Council vessel. They needed it intact enough to access its navigation systems and communication network. On the Council bridge, chaos reigned. Screens showed multiple hull breaches. Internal defense systems failed to respond. The dimensional core that powered the massive ship fluctuated wildly. The humans have deceived us, Zevkar realized too late. This is not tribute. It's an attack. Inside the council ship, the human crews executed their missions with determined precision. Each team targeted specific systems: propulsion, weapons, communications, and most importantly, the dimensional drive. Lieutenant Kelly Jordan led her team through the alien corridors. Following memorized schematics based on stolen data, they encountered resistance from Council security forces but had trained for this. Their weapons, designed based on recovered alien technology, proved effective. Control room ahead, Kelly informed her team. Prepare the data extraction devices. In another section, Lieutenant Paul Garcia's team reached the dimensional drive. The alien technology pulsed with energy that made human skin tingle unpleasantly. Setting charges now, Paul reported over the secure channel. Not to destroy, just to disable as ordered. Throughout the ship, similar scenes played out as the human forces systematically neutralized the Council vessel's capabilities. The Council crew, so confident in their superiority, found themselves overwhelmed by the precision and determination of the attack. On the bridge, Samantha received the reports from her teams. Primary objectives achieved, beginning extraction phase. This was the most dangerous part of the mission. The teams needed to return to their entry points where rescue vessels waited. The Council forces were regrouping, and the Echo's effect would not last much longer. All teams, begin withdrawal to extraction points, Samantha ordered. You have 7 minutes before dimensional systems begin to recover. Aboard his crippled vessel, Admiral Zevkar watched helplessly as his ship's functions failed one after another. His communication officer fought to send a warning to the approaching observer ships. Signal sent, the officer reported. But it's degraded. Unknown if complete message transmitted. Zevkar slammed his fist against his command chair. How? How did they do this? Their technology was assessed as centuries behind ours. As the human teams extracted from the Council ship, they carried with them the most valuable prize of all: complete navigation data for Council space and communication codes for the entire network. Earth now possessed the information needed to strike at the heart of the Council's power. In orbit around Earth, Admiral Susan Bennett received Samantha's transmission. Operation successful. Council battlecruiser neutralized. Navigation data and communication codes secured. Minimal casualties. Susan closed her eyes briefly in relief before addressing her crew. Prepare our fleet. The observer ships will be arriving soon, and they'll know something has gone wrong. This was just the beginning. Across Earth, as news of the successful strike spread through military channels, the rest of humanity remained unaware that the first battle for their freedom had just been won. But the war was far from over. The Council observer ships would arrive to find their main vessel crippled, and Earth ready for the next phase of the fight. The tribute the Council had demanded had been delivered, just not in the form they expected. Humanity's answer had been given, and it would echo across the stars. News of the successful strike against the Council battlecruiser spread through Earth's military command centers like wildfire. In the underground war room beneath the Rocky Mountains, cheers erupted when Admiral Susan Bennett's message arrived. But the celebration was brief. The observer ships will reach Earth orbit in 27 minutes, General Frank Mitchell announced, silencing the room. We need to decide our next move now. Professor Henry Wallace studied the data streaming in from the captured Council vessel. The navigation system is a goldmine. We now have coordinates for every major Council installation in this sector of the galaxy. Susan's face appeared on the main screen, broadcasting from the USS Defiant. The Council will respond with force once they realize what's happened. We need to strike first. Agreed, General Mitchell said. But our fleet isn't fully equipped with echo devices yet. We have 43 ships ready, but that's less than half our total force. Susan nodded. It's enough. We need to hit their key military installations before they can organize a response. Lisa Parker, who had barely slept in the 2 weeks since first contact, stepped forward. The echo devices we have are ready, and we've streamlined production. We can outfit another 20 ships in the next 6 hours. We don't have 6 hours, Susan replied. We need to launch now with what we have. The decision was made. Earth would take the fight to the Council rather than waiting for their retaliation. Commander Nicole Reyes, who had been preparing for this moment since the alien ship first appeared, took command of the offensive fleet. All ships, prepare for dimensional coordinates upload, Nicole ordered from the bridge of the USS Valiant. We launch in 15 minutes. Unlike the tribute ships which had hidden their true nature, this fleet made no attempt to disguise its military purpose. 43 warships, equipped with technology reverse-engineered from previous alien encounters and enhanced by the Echo, devices prepared to make humanity's first interstellar military strike. As the Earth fleet prepared to depart, the two Council observer ships arrived in Earth orbit. They immediately detected the disabled battlecruiser and attempted to establish communication. No response from Admiral Zevkar's vessel. The captain of the lead observer ship reported to Council High Command. Scans indicate massive internal damage. Human military vessels are gathering in low orbit. This appears to be an organized resistance. The Council Supreme Commander, a being of living metal named Drakvor, received this news with cold fury. Deploy all available forces to Earth sector. The humans have chosen extinction. But the Council's response came too late. Using the stolen dimensional coordinates, Commander Reyes's fleet activated their newly developed jump systems. The 43 Earth ships vanished from solar orbit, reappearing near a key Council military station orbiting a gas giant in the Epsilon Eridani system. Council station detected, Nicole's tactical officer reported. Their shields are active, but they show no sign of detecting our approach. They aren't expecting us to have jump capability. Nicole studied the massive station on her view screen. According to the stolen data, this facility coordinated all Council military operations in 50 neighboring star systems. All ships, activate Echo devices and begin attack pattern beta, she ordered. Across the fleet, Echo devices powered up. The effect on the Council station was immediate. Its shields fluctuated and failed as the dimensional technology they relied on collapsed. Earth ships launched precise strikes against weapon emplacements and communication arrays, crippling the station without destroying it. Boarding teams, you are clear to deploy, Nicole commanded. Teams of Earth soldiers, trained for space combat and equipped with adapted alien technology, boarded the station. They encountered resistance but pushed forward with determination born from knowing what was at stake, the very survival of their species. On Earth, Ambassador Richard Donovan initiated the diplomatic phase of humanity's counteroffensive. Using communication codes extracted from the captured battlecruiser, he broadcast a message to all subjugated worlds in Council space. People of the galaxy, this is Earth, Richard began. His voice transmitted in dozens of alien languages thanks to Council translation technology. For too long, the Council has demanded tribute from worlds like ours. They have taken resources, people, and freedom. Today we offer you something different. Alliance. Not as servants, but as equals. Throughout Council space, species that had lived under domination for generations heard this unexpected message. On many worlds, it sparked hope. On others, rebellion. In the Epsilon Eridani system, Nicole's forces secured the military station. The Earth soldiers discovered something unexpected. Detention levels filled with beings from other worlds, held as slaves or test subjects. We're finding prisoners, Lieutenant Greg Martinez reported from the station. Dozens of species. Some appear to have been here for years. Nicole made a quick decision. Free them all. Offer transport to Earth for any who want it. Tell them they're no longer prisoners of the Council. This pattern repeated as Earth forces struck other Council installations. Using the stolen navigational data, humanity launched simultaneous attacks against 19 key targets across Council space. Each strike followed the same strategy: disable with Echo devices, precision strikes to cripple but not destroy, then board and secure. Back on Earth, Professor Wallace monitored the effects of the Echo on Council space. Their entire transportation network is collapsing, he reported to General Mitchell. The dimensional pathways they use for travel are becoming unstable throughout their territory. Can we fix it if we need to? Mitchell asked. Theoretically, yes, Dr. Rodriguez is already working on a stabilization protocol. This was crucial to humanity's long-term strategy. They didn't seek to destroy the Council, only to end its dominance and establish a new order based on cooperation rather than subjugation. As Earth forces secured more facilities, they discovered a pattern. Many of the 17 Council species appeared to be participants in the system rather than its architects. The true power seemed concentrated among 3 elder species who controlled the dimensional technology that made their empire possible. Ambassador Donovan received responses to his broadcast. Representatives from 11 formerly subjugated worlds requested direct communication. Some offered to join Earth's fight against the Council. Others simply wanted to ensure they wouldn't replace the Council as conquerors. We seek partners, not subjects, Richard assured them. Earth knows what it means to face domination. We have no desire to become the very thing we fought against. After 48 hours of continuous operations, Earth forces had secured 32 Council installations. The Council's organized military response had been hampered by the collapse of their dimensional travel network and the confusion caused by simultaneous attacks across their territory. Admiral Susan Bennett convened a virtual meeting with all fleet commanders. Phase 1 has succeeded beyond our expectations, she told them. The Council's military capability has been reduced by approximately 60%. More importantly, we've made contact with other species who are joining our cause. Nicole Reyes, speaking from a captured Council command center, added, "The beings we've freed are providing invaluable intelligence. Many of the Council members themselves were coerced into the system by the 3 elder species." Susan nodded. "Then our next target is clear. We need to strike at the heart of Council power, their homeworlds, not to destroy but to force a reckoning. The greatest challenge of humanity's counteroffensive was about to begin. The elder species worlds would be heavily defended, and the echo devices might not work as effectively against those who understood the technology best. Prepare all available ships, Susan ordered. This will determine whether we've truly shattered the Council or merely cracked its surface. 6 months after the day Earth refused to provide tribute, representatives from 32 species gathered on a neutral space station. The humans had chosen a location symbolic of their intentions, a previously abandoned facility in the Arcturus system, rebuilt through collaborative effort. Admiral Susan Bennett stood at the center of the great circular chamber. Her uniform was crisp, but her face showed the strain of the past months. Beside her stood Captain Samantha Hayes, whose daring attack on the Council battlecruiser had started everything. "We gather today as equals," Susan began, her voice carrying to all corners of the chamber. "Not as conquerors or conquered, but as beings who share a vision for a different future." The journey to this moment had been difficult. After the successful strikes against Council military installations, Earth forces had launched their most daring operation yet. Simultaneous attacks on the homeworlds of the 3 elder species who controlled the Council. Those worlds had been heavily defended, as expected. The echo devices had met their limits against the advanced technology of those who had created the dimensional pathways. Earth had suffered losses, 17 ships and over 500 personnel. But humanity had not fought alone. Forces from 12 formerly subjugated worlds had joined them, bringing unique abilities and knowledge of Council weaknesses. Together, they had forced the elder species to the negotiating table. Now representatives of those elder species sat across from Susan. Their appearances varied dramatically. One resembled a collection of crystalline structures, another looked like a mass of luminous gas contained within a special suit, and the third had a body of what appeared to be liquid metal. "The Galactic Council structure as it existed is finished," Susan continued. "Its power has been broken, its methods of control dismantled. The question before us is what will take its place." The representative of the liquid metal species, who called himself Zelthar, spoke. "You have proven your species' capability for violence matches our own. If domination is your goal, why this charade of diplomacy?" Samantha stepped forward. "If domination were our goal, we would not be meeting here. Your worlds remain intact. Your people live. We could have chosen destruction, but sought resolution instead. Ambassador Richard Donovan presented the terms Earth had developed in consultation with their new allies. We propose the formation of the Galactic Concordat, a cooperative alliance with three founding principles: sovereignty of all member worlds, shared access to technological advancement, and mutual defense. The former council members listened, with mixtures of skepticism and interest as Richard outlined the details. No tributes, no forced cultural exchanges, no domination of one species over another. "And what of the dimensional pathways?" asked the crystalline being. "Your echo weapon has destabilized the entire network. Travel between worlds grows more difficult each day." Dr. Patricia Nelson stepped forward. For months, she had led a team, working with scientists from multiple species on this very problem. "We have developed a solution," she said, activating a holographic display showing complex equations and models. "Technology that can repair the damage and stabilize the pathways once more." The gaseous being's containment suit shifted colors in what appeared to be surprise. "You possess this capability already?" "We developed it in collaboration with scientists from 7 worlds, including former council members who chose to assist us," Patricia explained. "It will restore safe travel between all systems, but with an important difference." She highlighted a section of the display. "The stabilized pathways will function for commerce, cultural exchange, and civilian purposes, but they cannot be used for weapons or large-scale military transport. This limitation is hard-coded into the stabilization matrix." The elder species representatives conferred among themselves. This was the crucial moment. Would they accept a new order where they could not dominate through superior technology? After what seemed like hours but was merely minutes, Zelthar spoke again. "You could have kept this technology for yourselves, used it to become the new council." Susan shook her head. "That was never our intention. Earth knows what it means to face extinction. We fought not just for ourselves, but for all who suffered under council rule." The chamber fell silent as the former council members considered their options. Many of the other species watched with tense anticipation. Some had lived under council dominance for centuries. Others had only recently discovered they were not alone in the universe. Finally, the crystalline being moved forward. "The past cannot be undone, but the future remains unwritten. We will join your concordat, not as rulers, but as members. Our knowledge may still benefit all." One by one, representatives from each species indicated their position. Most chose to join the new alliance. A few opted for independence with trade agreements. Only 3, former enforcers of council will, chose isolation. As the signing ceremony concluded, Samantha found herself standing beside a viewport, watching the stars. The station orbited slowly, providing a changing vista of the cosmos. Admiral Bennett joined her. "Thinking about the cost?" she asked quietly. Samantha nodded. "We lost good people. Friends." "Yes," Susan agreed. "But because of them, countless beings across hundreds of worlds will know freedom instead of subjugation." "Do you think it will last?" Samantha asked. "This peace we've built?" Susan considered the question. "Nothing lasts forever. But we've created something based on cooperation rather than coercion. That gives it a better foundation than what came before." Dr. Nelson approached them, accompanied by scientists from 3 different worlds. "We've completed the calculations for the first-dimensional pathway stabilization," she reported. "We can begin implementation within days." "Good," Susan said. "The sooner people can travel freely between worlds, the sooner real healing can begin." On Earth, citizens watched the ceremony via transmission. They had learned the full truth in stages: first contact, the Council's true intentions, humanity's defense, and finally the formation of the Concordat. Many still struggled to adjust to the knowledge that they were part of a vast galactic community. General Mitchell had organized a memorial service for those lost in the conflict. As he read the names of the fallen, he reminded those listening, they gave their lives not just for Earth but for an idea, that freedom is the right of all beings, regardless of their world of origin. Back on the station, the formal proceedings concluded. Representatives mingled, some cautiously, others with growing enthusiasm. Languages and customs differed, but translation technology and cultural briefings helped bridge the gaps. Ambassador Donovan found himself speaking with a representative of a world that had been paying tribute to the Council for 7 generations. "How did your people find the courage?" the alien asked. "The Council seemed invincible to us." Richard smiled. "Someone once said that courage isn't the absence of fear, but acting despite it. When the Council demanded tribute, they thought they were dealing with a primitive, fearful species. Instead, they found humanity." As the gathering continued, plans were already forming for joint scientific missions, cultural exchanges, and cooperative defense initiatives. The galaxy was entering a new era, one shaped not by the tribute the Council had demanded, but by the answer humanity had given.